When I tell people about QRTEE, this static QR code that's connected to a dynamic web canvas where the QR code is set in stone and it's inherently linked with an URL that cannot be changed, that literally whenever you scan it is exactly the same. The first thing most people ask me that have any experience in blockchain NFT, they say, that sounds a lot like NFT technology. When I hear that question, I'm usually inspired to like break into a sinister, evil genius laugh. Of course. But the reality is, in a lot of ways it is. And the interesting about that is not the ways that it is in the ways that it's not. And in order to understand that, I'm going to share with you first my intuition on why the NFT market didn't explode the way we thought it would, the way it should have. And a lot of that has to do with the very nature of how it was set up. So very much like the QRTEE, the NFT is a very unique digital fingerprint that's connected to a digital asset. And that digital fingerprint lives on a blockchain, right? It's very unique. And the difference lies in what I'm about to explain. The actor, the major actor in what will be the digital asset is the person who creates that asset and then gets it minted. We've heard about the artist who created the monkeys, the digital, cartoon of the monkey that sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. And he made hundreds of, I think thousands of those monkeys, right? Once he minted that monkey, that hit the blockchain, the digital asset was out there, somebody liked it, and they purchased it. They purchased a piece of art. And then I think Nas did an album, similarly, got thousands of, hundreds of thousands of dollars for his album that he put on there. The problem with this model is what I call the spectatorship collection model. Is based upon a premise that once the thing is minted on the blockchain and that digital asset is there will be a certain type of spectator who wants to collect that item for further spectatorship. So he sees it, says, I want it, and when he gets it, what he can do with it is just look at it some more, hear it some more, right? Spectating in terms of music or visual or art, whatever, right? And its use becomes nothing more than spectatorship. And the problem with that model, right? And I'm not an economist. I'm not an NFT expert. I am a full stack developer, but I'm not a blockchain or NFT developer by any stretch of the imagination. But the problem with that model, which my intuition tells me, and I have pretty good intuition. My intuition tells me that the problem with that model, and this is what I felt the moment I heard about it when I wasn't the first one to make the monkey. I think for the first one to make the monkey, it was great. By the time I had got into it and I mentioned a couple things, my intuition told me what I'm about to share with you right now. That the problem with this model is that, unfortunately, there is only a very minuscule percentage of the billions of people on this planet who have the privilege of having the type of disposable income that allows them to be the type of spectators and collectors that will sustain people getting rich off of NFTs, right? It's really modeling the real world. People who collect art, the amount of people who are in a position to collect art, that the type of art that having it means you have something that's worth something, is very small. The second part of that is the art wasn't worth anything until the person brought it. So it's kind of like hyperbolized commodity fetishism, right? And what that means is that you make something and the fact that it exists just makes you money, right? And it makes you more money. So that if no one buys it, it's worth nothing. No matter what you say, the initial, percentage of, cryptocurrency you want for it, if no one ever buys it, it's not worth what you said you want for it. So you need these collectors. You need this large volume of connectors. And this is where the problem became manifested. That unfortunately, when everyone heard about that first item that sold for hundreds of millions of dollars, everyone became a creator and became the actors within this space. So that, and not only did they become actors, they became nefarious actors, creating bots that can create literally 10,000 unique items in a minute. I know, because I've written them scripts and I've tried it. And the hope is that just one of those items catch somebody's eye and get sold for millions of dollars, and then, you're on. But the problem with that is, because everyone rushed to the market and flooded the market with all these unique items, if someone did have millions of dollars and wanted to come to this place and get it, the experience was called anime, right? Lawlessness of choices. is so many things out there that look so much alike that the person who may have money gets paralyzed by what he would actually spend with that money to make sure he got the one that may justify being worth what he's about to spend on it. You see? I mean, it is a revolving, it is a circular fallacy in a lot of ways. It's a circular dilemma. And that is basically the problem, that the thing once it's created, the actor who created it loses all opportunity to add more value just through creation, and it becomes, codified in this digital thing that you hope someone gives value to by just buying it. And, so mind you, there's a digital fingerprint that's connected to a digital asset. There's a QR code that is very unique. In itself, QR codes are unique. It is made by some inherited property of the digital asset that is very unique to it, so that you can never wind up here with getting anywhere other than through the digital key, which is, in this case, the QR code. No other key will take you to accept this particular QR code. And wherever this QR code is at, anyone who scans it will get to go through a door that gets to this particular asset, which is very much the case of the space on a blockchain that leads to the digital assets you buy in an NFT, that you can acquire through the NFT, that is a part and a component of the QRT. So you can see the clear equivocation and one-to-one mapping of the relationship between QRTEE Technology and QRTEE Technology. Where the major shift happens at is a very important shift, is that the actor in this case is not the person who mints or creates the digital asset, right? Because in this case, that actor becomes inessential, because the digital asset in the beginning at minting stage is just a canvas, right? And what gives that canvas value is not the fact that it was minted by this actor. It is what the actor who acquires it does with it and to it. That is major. That is a major shift. In other words, it's not the fact that they purchased it or they bought it, because it's free in actuality, which means it is also an open market, and which is also, in itself, if the goal that I have for QRTEE and QRTEE space happens, will be revolutionary. That it is truly an open market, and everyone comes to that market in a very egalitarian way, right? That everyone is equal in this market when they enter it. And then, right, and then through their efforts and actions, they can set this asset apart from other assets, right? So that in this asset, this particular digital asset has the ability from minute to minute, from hour to hour, from day to day, from week to week, from month to month, from year to year, to take the form of a variety of other digital assets or a collection of other digital assets. So that PDFs, video, audio, pure text, HTML, like whatever someone wants to do is they can do it, which means that the uses for the web canvas are infinite. And this is the key. The value is not from the fact that you can sell this QRTEE to someone else, although at some point there would be an exchange you could do just that. The value won't be in the sell itself. The value will be in how much and which ways can you acquire engagement from spectators. So the actor here is not the spectator or collector. The actor is still acting in order to acquire spectators or engagers. What can you do with this digital thing that makes people want to see it and visit it? Which inherently says it has to be constantly changing to keep people's interest, evolving to keep people's interest. And through that engagement, we will find a model to translate into value. So that the thing is not creating value in and of itself. The person who acquired it, the actor who owns it, will be constantly finding a way to give it value, but not as a matter of purpose. And this is where things get really, 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 interesting, exciting. QRTEE space is going to be a blockchain technology. The QRTEE is going to be the newer, faster version of, more valuable version of NFT technology. It will be everything NFT technology is, was, and wanted to be, and much more. And what's going to drive it is real world functionality. That as you use QRTEE and you gain interaction and engagement on your QRTEE, just in your everyday life, as you figure out how and what the best way to use this for yourself, all of those engagements on QRTEE will somehow translate naturally to adding value to your particular QRTEE. We're still playing with how this can happen. The version of QRTEE Space that I've unveiled that is in the App Store and Google Play and has a web app at www.QRTEEspace.com is literally a sandbox to explore ways to create policies and methodologies for adding value to the blockchain once we go Web3. Exploring ways we can make it very useful in the real world and not just in some virtual space. If you had signed up for QRTEE, when you sign up for QRTEE, I am guaranteeing you will find a use for it. I am guaranteeing it's going to replace something that you have, some technology you have that you're already using, whether it's advertising, marketing, influencing, creating, selling. It is going to replace something you pay for free. That is a guarantee. And guess what? It's not a money back guarantee because right now it's absolutely free. Through your usage of QRTEE, we will create value that we can then take to Web3. The goal is to prove that it can be used in the real world. Once we prove it's used in the real world, when you are a person who creates, you customize sneakers and you're always, you've been posting on Instagram. When you shift those images of sneakers and informational sneakers and products to QRTEE and you got people checking out every day to see what you got to get something from you, those visits, those engagements there, no, not we can pay you because you have so many views. No, you are building up. You are building up value that says you know how to engage people. And guess what? People want to engage through your QRTEE. I'm not going to tell you what that means. For all my marketers and advertisers out there, all my marketing and advertising firms, you see where this is going. You see where this is going. When QRTEE hits the blockchain, that blockchain will be the people's blockchain. When QRTEE Technology steps into its rightful place as the heir to NFT technology, it will be driven by your usages in the real world and not by some trade place that says because he values it has value. You will be generating real value through the functionality and usage of your QRTEE and your QRTEE web canvas in the real world. And again, I guarantee you will find a way to use it. And that use alone will generate value. So if you haven't signed up for QRTEE, now I'm telling you to sign up now. I opened this door. I granted you access for free. I was going to unveil this great surprise when we went to Web3 that says you have a place in Web3, that you got on this ship, you got on this boat, you got in your seat, and we took you on this journey without you even realizing it, and you were creating value without even realizing it. But I see, unless I tell you this, you won't sign up. And the craziest part about it was, when the sign up was initially $9.99 a month, my whole goal was the first 1,000 people to sign up. When we move to Web3, they're going to have a little interest, financial interest in the company we used to go to. Okay, it was 0.01%. 0.01% of $1 billion company is a lot of money. And I see this as $1 billion venture. That we're going to go Web3, it's going to feel different, it's going to look different, and it's going to produce value differently. We are going to marry Web3 technologies with blockchain technologies, with NFT technologies, with real-world usage technologies, and a little bit of virtual technologies. It sounds a lot like NFT technologies. Of course it does. That's all part of the plan. To get you involved with NFT technologies and start growing without mining, start growing value for your place in that technology without you even knowing it, just through everyday usage. That's the space I'm building in QRTEE Space. That is the experimental space I've built and I want you to be a part of. Don't say it's a good idea. Sign up and use it. And don't ask me how to use it. No one taught you how to use Instagram. No one taught you how to use Facebook. No one taught you how to use TikTok. No one taught you how to use LinkedIn. I'm telling you, again, sign up, use it. You're going to find your way in it. You're going to find what you can use it for because I've thrown everything in it. Again, it's in the App Store. It's in the Google Play Store. It's as a website at www.QRTEEspace.com. And as a note on that, the website, the web version, the web app version, you can use it on your desktop and you can save it to your phone's home screen. That version, I will be putting different features in there, just trying them out every single week. Every month, I'm going to be adding new things. It's stuff in the web version right now that are not in the app version. The goal for me is to create as many reasons for you to want to use it, because every time you use it, it's going to help build value, not only for the platform, but for the actual QRTEE web canvas that you acquire and own.